Hi there, I'm here with Reef Tuma today. He is the creator of Dinovember. Hey Reef, how's it going?
Doing all right. How are you?
Pretty good. For those that are not familiar with Dinovember, can you give us a quick overview of what it is? It's a it was a hit in the office over here. I know a lot of my coworkers were excited about it, but can you just kind of share some of the backstory?
Sure. Dinovember is basically a project that my wife and I did, and it basically every year during the month of November, our house is invaded by small plastic dinosaurs that get into all the food and our houseplants and just generally make a big mess of our house each night while the whole family is asleep. Our kids wake up each morning and go looking for the dinosaurs, and when they find them, and we take some pictures and we share those pictures with our friends and family online. And the it all started as a way to basically to reconnect with our kids. We had a rough patch around 2012, fall of 2012. Our son had some minor health issues that were keeping him up all night, and we were exhausted. Our two older kids, our daughters, were starting to, kind of get that cabin fever, where they were really just noticing that we weren't really leaving the house much, we weren't doing much. Mom and Dad were tired, so we wanted some way to reconnect with them and to help them, to inspire them to use their imaginations and to have fun even while we were kind of stuck at home. And the dinosaurs really became a big part of that.
Absolutely. So I know it ended up being a post on Medium, and then you ultimately started a book from it. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. The Medium post was basically a summary of kind of what Dinovember was, and had some photos from the previous year. And it was basically a way. I wrote it to have something to point people to when they asked me what in the world my kids were talking about when they would go to school or they would talk to their friends, and they'd say, you know, the dinosaurs, spilled a bowl of popcorn last night, or the dinosaurs got into the freezer last night and froze. And we would start to get questions from friends and family. What are they talking about? What is going on at your house? So I wrote that post to kind of have one place where I could point people to. This is what's going on. This is what's happening, and it really ended up being read by a lot more people than just our friends and family, and people
Yeah.
connected with it. And it really was sort of the first thing that kind of put Dinovember out there for for the world to see and participate in.
Sure, yeah, there was somewhat of a cult following, kind of, it was internationally. I mean, like the response was crazy.
Yeah, we had people as far away as Belgium and Australia and all over the world who were joining in and having fun with us. So it was a good time.
That is crazy. I mean, that's awesome. So, I mean, obviously, it was intended more as a family thing, but I'm sure you didn't necessarily intend for it to be like this huge runaway viral hit that it was.
No, we definitely did not anticipate the response that Dinovember ended up getting. We're we're thrilled that it did, especially because really what people the way that people connected with it was really exciting. We invited them to participate and to do this in their own homes, in their own classrooms, and thousands of people did and posted their photos and shared them with us and with each other, and really sharing them in ways that didn't even get back to us. We kind of every once in a while we kind of go looking out on the internet for Dinovember photos, and there were ones that people that didn't even know about our Facebook page or the Medium posts or any of these things. They had just gotten it from other people that they were connected with and friends and family. So it was exciting to see families and teachers and classrooms, trying to play with their kids and inspire their kids to imagine and have fun and play. So it was really very exciting, but very unexpected.
That's pretty great. It's always great to see kind of such a huge community kind of show up. Uh,
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, so let's take a step back. You, I know, have a day job as a copywriter and UX designer and content strategist for a business solutions provider. So, can you talk a little about what you're doing over there and the kind of work that you're doing?
Sure. I'm part of a UX team, a relatively small user experience team inside of a very large financial software company. And what we do, we basically focus on mobile applications for the financial industry. So we've worked on an investing platform called TreeSwing that was kind of a prototype that ended up getting caught up in some regulatory things, but which was a really exciting project that we still hope sees the light of day someday. But as well as some other types of investing applications, retirement solutions, stuff like that. But really what we do is we try to take these complex business applications and make them friendly and accessible and simple enough for anybody to use and get started with so that our clients can take them and give them to consumers and really allow the consumers to kind of make their own way with them. So I wear a few different hats, but the main theme is to use copy and language to improve the user experience. How can our copy and our messaging make the experience better? How can we take them down this path with these relatively complex, ideas and these complex situations, and really lead them along in a way that is fun for them?
Sure, yeah. And thinking about creating like stories around these B2B products, what kind of challenges do you come up against?
Well, my background is more in a consumer-facing kind of role from my days doing blogging and from kind of the first few projects that we took on here. But so, working in a B2B environment has forced me to adapt a little bit. But when it comes right down to it, what I found is that when you are telling stories in a business-to-business environment, ultimately you're speaking to individuals, and you're speaking to the same people that might use other products as a consumer, as an individual. The difference is really that you're telling stories to these people that they can then go and tell to their bosses, the people that they answer to, the people that are going to need to make the decision on one solution or another, one piece of software or another. So it's really trying to present this message to them that they can not only understand and connect with, but that they can then take and get excited about and pass on to the people that they answer to and get them excited about it and connecting with it as well.
Mm-hmm, sure. So where do you find inspiration?
Well, I do a lot of reading. I write fiction, a lot of things that are outside of the business world, but things that I think are invaluable to anyone who writes for a living in any capacity, whether it's copywriting or whether it's community management using social media and talking to people on a written medium. So those are things that I do quite a bit and have a lot of fun doing. And as far as within the business context, a lot of companies that I look to, one of the big ones that I've been spending a lot of time looking at and kind of being inspired by is Red Bull. Red Bull has one of the most impressive content marketing strategies that is out there right now. They really have created a company that lives and breathes what its message is, and they do a lot of things outside of the internet, outside of social media, in real life that then lets people connect with them on a more physical way and things that they can then go back and share. So I think they're doing a really impressive job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, creativity obviously played such a huge role in what you did with Dinovember, and Red Bull is an exceptional example of creativity and imagination. And I know you incorporated imagination into your talk in Oslo. What do you think are some of the other kind of elements at play in some of the most delightful content marketing or brand strategies that you've been seeing?
Sure. Well, I think that having fun and encouraging people to have fun with whatever it is that you're doing is so important. There are all sorts of different types of products, and some of them are kind of inherently sexy and fun, and some of them really are very functional and simple and necessary, but maybe they don't have as obvious a component of enjoyment and pleasure that you can get from using them. And so I think a lot of that comes from the reasons behind it and how those products that are so functional and practical impact their users and consumers' lives, and really kind of finding a way to connect with that sort of end state, that end result that they end up creating in that person's life. So it could be fun. It could be something that allows them to have a little bit of a load off their back. It could be something that allows them to find happiness or enjoyment somewhere else. So that, I think, is a big part of it. So it's fun and finding a way to connect with what your products are doing in that person's life, that make their life better, even outside of the immediate impact of the product.
Sure. Well, speaking of fun, I hope that there will be lots of fun to be had this October. What can attendees expect to take away from your talk?
Well, my talk will be dealing with the ways that communities make experiences better. And what I hope that attendees take away from it is that creating a community goes well beyond something like social media and into the real world, into the physical world. And that's something that any person or company or team can do, and allowing and using those things to allow their customers to have some sense of ownership over the product and the process, and helping them to kind of feel part of the process themselves and to be able to take that and have their own fun with it and do their own things with it. But really that in-person physical connection that is so important. Sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to hear what you have to say. I think that you have probably one of the more unique backgrounds in terms of the writing that you do and the creative writing that's in the fiction and the nonfiction, but then also the UX and the content strategy work that you're doing day to day. I think it's going to really bring a unique blend to what we're talking about on Monday.
I hope so.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to about the event?
Well, I've never been to Portland, and it is one of those cities that has been at the top of my list for a while of places to visit. So I'm very excited to have the chance to take a few days and explore the town and meet the people and just kind of experience that city with such a unique culture, and I'm really looking forward to that. So it'll be a nice change of pace from the Midwest.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a good city. Well, I am very much looking forward to meeting you in person, and thank you so much for sharing some of your thoughts today.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, so we'll talk soon.
Great, thanks a lot.
Thanks.